It is Friday, June 10th of 2022, and all kinds of stuff going on to talk about today on Guy's Daily Drive. BAM! And welcome everyone to Guy's Daily Drive. Oh, it's Friday. I could not ask for a more beautiful Friday. The only thing that I could request differently than what's going on right now is that I wouldn't be going to work. But I am. So I will. But the day itself, I mean, we're talking mid-70s, not a cloud. Oh my God, it's such a gorgeous day. Not everyone is having such a wonderful time, though. I worked from home yesterday, and as is my usual when I'm working from home, is I made dinner. And dinner last night was these chicken slices along with pepper slices and onion slices skewered and then kind of marinated in olive oil, garlic, salt, and pepper, and then baked and then broiled in the oven. And there were two skewers, or four skewers really, two for me, two for Tracy. And I kind of went through mine pretty quick. It came out pretty good. Tracy ate about half of one, then she started having, and this has been kind of a common problem, and it's something, you know, we don't really know what brings it on. It doesn't seem to follow any particular pattern as far as type of food, the way the food is prepared, or what's with it, or what spices it has. It just happens where her esophagus starts spasming, which really sucks because, well, number one, she can't eat, she can't drink, she can't swallow. It's not a good time for her at all. We've gone to the hospital a couple of times because of it. And the worst part is there's literally nothing that I can do, is because we either have to wait for the spasms to subside, which I don't have anything to do with, I can't help in any way, or we end up going to the hospital if they don't subside, which I can do. I can drive her to the hospital and then wait and see what happens from that. But it's not like somebody gets a cold or the flu, or they break an arm or what have you, and they can't do the things that they would normally do for themselves. Well, you can help them with that. Bring them tea, hot beverage, make sure that they get food, or comfy them up with an extra pillow or a blanket, or get them whatever kind of medication that they need. But in this case, there's really not much. What does that say? Always. Yes, thank you, Martin. Always. So, but there's really nothing that I can do to help, because it's all on. It's not even really all on Tracy. It's all on her. Whoa! It's all in her esophagus. So we kind of just have to wait for that to stop doing its thing. God, these people making left-hand turns where there's not a left-hand turn lane is so annoying. It's not necessarily illegal, though. They are crossing a double yellow line, so I don't know what the laws are pertaining to that. But it is very, very annoying. But there's nothing that I can personally do to help her. You know, I ask about 1,000 times, what can I do? What can I bring you? You know, is there anything that you need? And I think it eventually just becomes more of an annoyance, more of a hindrance than a help, because there isn't anything I can do. So me kind of hovering over her and going, what do you need? What can I do? Is probably more annoying than helpful. So usually when these things happen, you know, I ask a couple times, I see what I can do, and then I just get out of the way, because it's just gonna take time. And she's gonna watch the programs that she wants to watch during this time, and that's fine. And she likes to watch a lot of the super lefty YouTube videos, some of the progressive videos, which I frankly can't stand. You know, people are certainly entitled to make whatever content they want, but for the most part, I just think it's just kind of silly nonsense. But everybody should enjoy the content that they want to enjoy. I, however, don't have to watch it. I don't have to listen to it, so I don't. I went downstairs instead, and I watched a new episode of Star Trek Strange New Worlds, which, it was good. it was kind of dark. It was actually, all things considered, very dark. And I don't know. You'll have to, if you haven't been watching, if you're not a Star Trek fan, or at least a Star Trek fan of the Star Trek that's been put out lately, whether it's been the Chris Pine, Zachary Quinto movies, or Discovery, or Picard, if you haven't enjoyed those shows, I think you'll enjoy, if you're a Star Trek fan, Strange New Worlds. They kind of get back to, not really the monster of the week, but story of the week. It's a single self-enclosed story, and again, there can be elements that kind of move from week to week that remain consistent, but they don't, you know, it's not like this 5 to 10 episode arc with galaxy-wide problems and blah blah. It's like, okay, it's a problem that's right here. It's a problem that this particular starship is going to handle, and chances are nobody else in the Federation or in Starfleet is going to get involved. So it's all just self-enclosed, a self-contained story, and I like that. It's refreshing. And the other, I think I talked about this last week, the other thing about Star Trek that you should be watching if you like that kind of stuff is Star Trek Lower Decks, which, it's a cartoon, and the animation is not great. You know, it's not super detailed, but then it doesn't have to be. It's just fun. And they go into some things that you never, ever would have seen in any other Star Trek show. But I've really, really enjoyed Star Trek Lower Decks, so check that out as well. So coming up, there was a big conversation between myself, Peter, and Guy. I got a text. It all kind of started with a text from Peter saying that Ringo Starr and his all-star band were going to be playing in Richmond. And I checked, and it's on the 21st of June, and they still had tickets. So it was like, yay. So we did a head count, and once I had the head count, I went ahead and got the tickets. Just got the tickets this morning. And everyone is going. As a matter of fact, we have one extra. We have 7 people all together. So of course, myself and Tracy, Peter and his significant other, the lovely Liza, Guy Jr., and his significant other, the amazing Ashley. You have to think of all these of these adjectives. And Peter's friend Jake, who is the one he kind of shares a birthday with, and they just came back from South Florida, going down to Universal Studios in Orlando. So I got 7 tickets. Now the problem was you could only buy them in blocks, or the most you could get in a single block was 6. So I got 7 tickets, but I had to break it up into a group of 4 and a group of 3, and we'll figure out who's going to sit with who later on. But they're all in the same section, and they're all supposed to be in the same row. So we'll see how that works out. But I'm really looking forward to it. I've never seen any of the Beatles in concert. Of course, they stopped doing concerts when I was only like 6 years old, and prior to that, there was no way my parents were going to take me, even if they could get tickets, to a Beatles concert. So I never got to see them. And throughout the 70s, George Harrison was touring. John Lennon really wasn't at the time that I was going to shows. And of course, Paul McCartney and Ringo were touring, but it never was like the kinds of shows that I would typically go to. I was more of a hard rock kind of guy. And that's not to say that I'm sure they didn't put on some amazing shows. From the footage that I've seen, they did. But it just wasn't the kind of show that I would typically go to. So I've never seen any of the Beatles live. So this will be a first. I get to see Ringo Starr and a group of other very, very talented musicians that make up his all-star band. I'll get to see them too. Peter is actually going to see Paul McCartney in Baltimore a few weeks after that. And we kind of had a chance to go, Tracy and I did, to see that too, but we wouldn't have been able to sit in the same section. And ticket prices were like in the $400 to $600 plus range. And I'm sorry, I'm just not going to spend that kind of money to see a concert. I don't even want to spend that kind of money to see a play, unless, it would have to be something like super amazing. And I'm sure Paul McCartney is wonderful in concert, but I just can't justify spending that kind of money for a single show. So I probably will never get a chance to see Paul McCartney live before he stops touring. But I will see Ringo this time around. Much more reasonably priced tickets. So that'll be fun. That's going to be on a Tuesday night in Richmond. And not all the details are worked out yet on how we're getting down there and all the rest of it. I'm going to put in, hopefully I won't have any problem, for that Tuesday and Wednesday off. And so we'll drive down to Richmond on Tuesday, concerts Tuesday night. And if it's super late, I imagine we can just find a place to crash, a hotel or something in the area. I'm not really that worried about it. If it's a long drive home, then, because it's about 2 hours plus however long it takes to get out of the venue to get from Richmond to the house. That late, traffic isn't really an issue. Anyway, that's what's going on. I'm almost to work, so I'm going to wrap this up. If you want to send me an email, you can do so. podcast@vertshark.com or guy@mymac.com. You can reach me on the Twitters. I am Mac Parrot or Vert Shark over there on the Twitters, of course. You can also listen, and usually, not this week though, watch the mymac.com podcast with Gaz and myself. That comes out usually on Sundays, video usually on Monday. What else? You can help contribute to this insanity by going to PayPal, and you would send that to paypal.me/MacParrot. You can become a Patreon, patreon.com/MacParrot, or buy me a coffee, ko-fi.com/MacParrot. And you don't have to. I'll keep, as I've said before, I'll keep doing this, whether you guys contribute or not. But if you can, I'd appreciate it. And if you can't, don't worry about it. So I'm almost to work and I am going to go. So thank you. Thank you all one more time for joining me today right here on Guy's Daily Drive. And I'll see all of you next time. Bye-bye.